Martin O'Neill has delivered a positive update on Hyun Jun's fitness ahead of Wednesday's last Champions League playoff, but there is also a major blow to deal with as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has been ruled out of Celtic's first 3 European games. The handball debate from last night has been settled by the Scottish FA. Arne Engels has posted a farewell to the Celtic support, and O'Neill says Celtic can still add players before Wednesday. Let's get into it, but first make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Willie Collum has shut down the handball controversy surrounding Camilo Duran's goal last night, issuing a detailed statement that clears Celtic and leaves no room for further debate. The incident happened in the 24th minute at Tannadice. As Duran moved to finish, the ball struck Casper Hoe's arm before Duran applied the decisive touch and scored. The goal was checked by VAR, given, and Duran ran off to celebrate. But at half-time, pundits Michael Stewart and Scott Brown questioned the decision on air, comparing it to a Falkirk goal that had been disallowed for handball in Week 1 of the Premiership. Collum responded with a statement read out live on the broadcast by host Emma Dodds. It said, "The entire incident was checked, including the handball. The ball clearly strikes the hand of the Celtic attacker. However, this is not a punishable handball, as it is a consequence of his playing action and is completely accidental. The laws of the game are clear regarding handball and an immediate goal being scored. The offence only applies when the player who handled the ball is the one who subsequently scores. As another attacker scored, this provision does not apply." On the Falkirk comparison, Collum was equally direct. He said, "We note that at half-time, this was compared to the Falkirk disallowed goal from Week 1. The VAR deemed that handball to be punishable by law. In our opinion, however, these are completely different incidents and should not be considered comparable. Clean, clear, no lucky break, no VAR favour. The goal was good, the rules were applied correctly, and Collum came out and said so in real time. Case closed." Now for the main story, as Martin O'Neill has eased concerns over Hyun Jun's fitness ahead of the last playoff, confirming that the South Korean winger's absence from last night's squad was a precaution rather than a serious injury. Yang had started Celtic's first 2 competitive games of the season and was excellent in the 5-1 win over Kilmarnock at Rugby Park the previous weekend. He was a surprise omission from the matchday squad at Tannadice, which naturally raised alarm bells given how important the LASK first leg is on Wednesday. O'Neill addressed the situation directly post-match. He said, Yang was really stiff, very, very stiff after training on Thursday, and missed yesterday's training, but we're hoping that he should be okay for Wednesday. That is as positive an update as Celtic supporters could have hoped for. A stiffness issue after heavy training rather than a muscle tear or ligament problem. The expectation is that Yang could at the very least be on the bench against LASK and potentially start if he comes through training without any further setbacks. Yang's journey over the past 12 months has been remarkable. He was almost sold to Birmingham City last summer, travelling down to St Andrews and beginning his medical before the deal collapsed at the final stage. He came back to Glasgow, kept his head down, and produced some of his best football since joining the club. He is now a player Celtic absolutely cannot afford to lose to injury at this stage of the season. Fingers crossed he is fit and ready for Wednesday night. In other news, Celtic have been hit with a significant blow ahead of Wednesday night's Champions League playoff against LASK, with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain confirmed as suspended for the first 3 European games of the season. The 32-year-old featured in last night's 4-0 win over Dundee United and impressed O'Neill throughout the 90 minutes. But the news waiting at full-time was not good. Oxlade-Chamberlain is carrying a UEFA suspension that dates all the way back to December 2023, when he received a red card playing for Besiktas in the Conference League against Lugano. That red card was upgraded after the game to a 3-match suspension, and UEFA's records show it was never served because Besiktas did not continue in European competition after that point. Now that Oxlade-Chamberlain is playing European football again with Celtic, the ban has kicked in. He will miss the LASK first leg on Wednesday, the second leg in Austria the following week, and if Celtic make it through, the opening group stage game as well. O'Neill was visibly surprised by the news post-match. He said, "I thought he did terrifically well for us. His short and long passing is very, very good. He's suspended for these games, which seems really harsh for a second yellow card about 27 years ago. They must just have been waiting for him to get another game. We weren't aware of that at the time. Alex certainly didn't make us aware of it, but he wouldn't have known, in fairness. The timing could not be worse. Engels departed last night. Oxlade-Chamberlain is now banned for Europe. That leaves Callum McGregor needing a midfield partner for Wednesday, with the options in behind him significantly reduced. Who O'Neill trusts to play alongside the captain in a Champions League qualifier will be one of the most important decisions of his tenure so far. In other news, Arne Engels has posted a classy farewell tribute to Celtic, and the supporters on Instagram after his move to West Ham was officially confirmed last night. Having spent just under 2 years at the club, it is clear that Celtic made a lasting impression on the Belgian. He arrived in the summer of 2024 for a fee of £11 million, won 2 trophies, and left having played a central role in some of the most dramatic moments of last season's title run-in. Engels had been plagued by transfer speculation since the turn of the year, but you would never have known it from his performances. He remained the consummate professional throughout, continuing to put in the work when others might have allowed the uncertainty to affect them. That character was reflected in the tone of his Instagram farewell, which struck Celtic fans as exactly the kind of send-off you want from a player leaving the club. He was not universally loved during his time at Parkhead. There were moments when sections of the support questioned whether he was contributing enough in front of goal, but when the pressure was at its highest in the final weeks of last season, Engels showed up. He formed a formidable partnership alongside Callum McGregor and delivered when it mattered most. 7 goals and 8 assists in the title-winning campaign, a record fee for a championship club to secure him. A 5-year deal at West Ham. He leaves Celtic with everyone's best wishes. A real talent who wore the shirt with pride. Good luck, Arne. Lastly, Martin O'Neill has confirmed that Celtic can still bring in more players before Wednesday night's last first leg, and made clear the club intends to do so before the Scottish transfer window closes in early September. With Engels gone, Oxlade-Chamberlain banned from European action, and Yang's fitness uncertain, the need for further recruitment is obvious. Sky Sports reporter Anthony Joseph has identified Nico Siger of Hajduk Split and Gvidas Ganitis of Torino as the 2 leading midfield targets Celtic are currently considering. Other names also remain under consideration. O'Neill was asked post-match whether Celtic could realistically add players before the last game. He said, "Well, yeah, I think that we can add to it. Whether that happens before Wednesday is a different issue. I think that we've already announced a squad. I think you can, up until Tuesday night, add another 2 players. That deadline of Tuesday night gives Celtic roughly 48 hours to push through any further business if they want players eligible for the first leg." That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.